Hello there, welcome to Non-Phil Flicks. As always, we bring you news on top trending stories from Nigeria. In the headlines, UN express worry over violence against women in Nigeria. NARD calls off strike with some demands met. FG enlists Interpol over fleeing prisoners. Reps move to limit NNPC revenue spending. NAFDAC links Kano-poisoned drink with terror chemical. El Rufai sacks 4,000 LGA workers, sparks outrage. Amechi urges contractors to hasten Lagos-Ibadan rail project. Southeast governor unveils security outfit, bans open grazing. UN condemns attacks on facilities in Borno. Gombe AG chief judge releases 93 inmates. Firm backs FG on plan to ban syringe importation. NCDC confirms 84 new infections from 13 states. Kano government shuts down restaurants amid hepatitis B breakout. Works Ministry votes 1 billion naira for project supervision. Police rescue 15 kidnapped persons in Kaduna. And now to the details in the news. I am Valerie Aligbe. The United Nations has expressed worries over the rising cases of violence against women and girls in Nigeria. UN National Program Manager Patience Okoba lamented that the country's security is weak in handling gender-based matters, calling on the federal government to retrain security personnel, especially the police, in handling gender-based matters to help put an abrupt end to the narrative across the country. Meanwhile, the primate of the Church of the Lord, Rufus Ositalu, in his keynote address, called on religious organizations across the country to join forces with the government to help combat social violence, equally insisting that discrimination against women, especially in politics and religious organizations, must thoroughly be dealt with in order to have a better democratic Nigeria. After 10 days of trade disputes, the National Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) has suspended its strike, paving the way for the return of activities to government facilities, including federal medical centers, university teaching hospitals, and federal staff hospitals. The president of NARD, Uilawa Okesoyi, confirmed the suspension, saying the organization took the decision based on the fact that the government had responded to some demands. We recall that NARD commenced a total and indefinite strike, which was the outcome of its extraordinary National Executive Council meeting held to review its earlier ultimatum and to deliberate on burning issues affecting residency training, healthcare delivery, and welfare. The federal government has asked the International Criminal Police Organization Interpol to be on the lookout for inmates who escaped in recent jailbreaks in the country, including the most recent in Owerri, the Imo State capital. It added that the data of the inmates were being compiled and would be sent to relevant organizations in batches so as not to delay the manhunt. We recall that no fewer than 1,844 inmates escaped from Owerri's custodial center when unidentified gunmen broke into the facility with the aid of explosives. The gunmen also attacked the state police headquarters, where they freed about 600 suspects in custody, torching the facilities and vehicles on both premises. The House of Representatives is considering a bill to make it illegal for the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) to spend from the revenue it generates without appropriation by the National Assembly. The bill emerged in the House as the Committee on Public Accounts continues investigations over alleged extra budgetary spending, an allegation that NNPC has since denied. We recall that the committee, chaired by OK, had on February 18 warned the NNPC to henceforth stop deducting from revenue generated from the sale of petroleum products before remitting the same to the Federation account. According to him, the law governing the operations of the NNPC should be amended to enable the government to make provision for the corporation to be entitled to an amount as a collection fee like the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Nigerian Customs Service. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has said that investigations show that a chemical added to the killer-flavored drink that led to the death of 3 persons in Kano contained hydroxylamine, known to be used for terrorism. It said all the merchants of the deadly chemicals and additives have been apprehended while further investigation continues. The Director General of NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, warned Nigerians against adding chemicals and additives to foods and drinks to enhance the taste, stressing that such practices could result in severe illness and even death. Stating that her agency will be working with the Kano State Task Force under the Federal Task Force on Counterfeit and Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Foods, which is domiciled in NAFDAC, and the Nigeria Consumers Protection Agency in Kano. The decision of the administration of Governor Nasir El-Rufai to disengage 4,000 workers across the 23 local government areas of Kaduna State has sparked outrage. Reacting to the development, Comrade Ayuba Waba, president of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), described the action as arbitrary and cruel, calling on the Kaduna State government to reverse the mass sack. According to him, the decision to give effect to compulsory retirement of officers even when they are less than the retirement age of 50 years violates their fundamental human and trade union rights of Kaduna State workers, calling for a reversal of the mass sack of all those affected and a payment of their entitlements. It will be recalled that on the 6th of April, over 4,000 staff across 23 local governments received their disengagement letters. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi has urged the China Civil Engineering Construction Company (CCECC) to speed up work on the Lagos-Ibadan rail line project. Amechi, after a project inspection, added that the company has restated their commitment towards finishing it by the end of April. According to the minister, the current pace of work may delay inauguration of the project, which was slated for April. He further explained that the Ibadan-Kano project is dependent on disbursement of a loan by the China Exim Bank. Southeast governors and heads of security agencies in the region have issued a communique after the first Southeast Security Summit held in Owerri. The communique issued reveals that the region agreed to maintain a joint security outfit codenamed Ebubago and also agreed to a ban on open grazing, with the implementation to be carried out by security agencies. According to the communique, the Southeast stands resolutely with the federal government in its fight against terrorists and bandits, proposing the heads of all security agencies in the Southeast resolve to exchange intelligence in a seamless, effective new order which will help checkmate crime in the zone. The meeting also agreed that open grazing be banned, with the security outfits to implement the ban. The United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Edward Cullen, has condemned the attack carried out on aid facilities in Damask, Borno State. He said due to the unfortunate incident, humanitarian operations in the town would be set back, which would inadvertently affect the support to 8,800 internally displaced persons as well as 76,000 people in the host community. According to Cullen, civilians and aid workers as well as their facilities and assets should never be targets of attacks, appealing to donors and stakeholders for support in funding the 9 humanitarian hubs and the United Nations Humanitarian Air Service, as these are vital enablers of the humanitarian operations in northeastern Nigeria. The acting chief judge of Gombe State, Justice Muazu Pindiga, has released no fewer than 93 inmates. They comprise of 63 inmates from Gombe Custodial Center, 15 inmates from Biliri Medium Custodial Center, and 15 juveniles from the remand homes. The released inmates were also said to have been supported with transportation fares to their various destinations. Pindiga, who is also the chairman of the State Criminal Justice Committee, urged the police to hasten investigations of cases involving 741 identified suspects for their cases to be filed at the appropriate courts. According to Pindiga, the Gombe State Criminal Justice Committee is committed to decongesting prisons in the state by reviewing the cases of inmates. The managing director, Jubilee Syringe Manufacturing Company, Akin Oyediran, has thrown his weight behind the move by the federal government to ban the importation of substandard syringes and needles into the Nigerian market. According to him, the proposed ban would confer on local manufacturers the needed push to produce over 2 billion high-quality syringes expected to satisfy and sustain the local markets, restating the federal government's commitment to providing the citizens with access to good and quality syringes. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has confirmed 84 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 163,736. According to the NCDC, out of the overall confirmed cases, 154,098 were discharged, while 2,060 deaths were recorded in 36 states and the FCT. One death was recorded and 25 discharged within the last 24 hours, leaving the country's active cases as of the 10th of April at 7,520. Consumer Protection Council (KCPC) has said that the positive hepatitis B test results of 6 restaurant workers in the state have resulted in the closure of all other eateries and bakeries. According to the acting managing director of the council, Bafaba Badagodi, measures have been put in place to prosecute violators of a directive stipulating a clear health certificate before operating restaurants. Expressing worries that the 6 workers who tested positive are from just 3 restaurants tested in less than a week, whereas the state has more than 3,000 restaurants operating in the state. We recall that the council had given a 7-day ultimatum to owners of restaurants, bakeries and water-producing factories, amongst others, to produce a certificate of health, and at the expiration ordered the immediate closure of those who failed to produce their certificate. The Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has set aside 1 billion naira in its 2021 budget as consultancy fees to be paid to experts that would supervise its roads and bridge projects. The ministry also proposed to spend 1 billion naira this year to provide road signage and other road furniture on federal highways across the country. Apart from these, the ministry set aside 15 million naira for the development of highways design software, while 250 million naira was voted for the recovery of right-of-way on federal roads nationwide this year. It proposed to spend 2.5 billion naira as intervention fund to provide internal roads in the tertiary institutions across Nigeria. The police command in Kaduna State has rescued 15 kidnapped persons and recovered 32 cows. According to the command's public relations officer, ASP Mohammed Chalinge, the drivers of the vehicles sustained varying degrees of injuries and are receiving treatment currently, while the remaining victims have been profiled and subsequently reunited with their respective families. Further stating that rigorous patrol and manhunt for the fleeing bandits was of a topmost priority to the command. And that wraps up our lineup for today. Many thanks to you for joining us. Do hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next update. Till next time, keep staying safe and practice good hygiene.